Start streaming the live event. Oh, all right. Your event is starting. I believe your event has started. Make sure you mute yourself if you're not talking. Hello, everyone. Hello. Hello, ladies and gentlemen. I believe we are live. Can you hear me? Let me know in the chat room if you can hear me. I certainly hope so, because if not, we're really screwed. Let's see here. I'm letting them know we are live. Is starting. I believe. Whoa, I hear my own voice. So yeah, I think we're good here. Hello, everyone. How are you? We're talking Avengers Endgame spoilers. In case you missed the title of the video, it says, or of the stream, it says Avengers Endgame spoiler stream. So if you come in here complaining about spoilers, you're not very intelligent. All right. Yes. Hello. How are you? Hope y'all are doing okay. By the way, I found it funny that earlier today, we already got a super chat. Thank you, Rookie Critic. Excuse me. I appreciate the donation. I wasn't expecting a donation this early. I might move the super chat window over. I'm going to put the chat on screen momentarily. First of all, how are y'all doing? Hope y'all are having a good one. And like I said, we are talking about Avengers spoilers. Super chats are, of course, open if you want to drop a donation, ask a question. We are streaming over here on World of Geekdom. Many of you might be asking, well, are y'all going to stream on Geekdom 101? At some point, I will. I haven't been streaming on Twitch or on Geekdom because of health issues that I'll get into in a Speakdom probably. But mental health is good, but I've got physical issues as well. Oh, it's BG. He's in there. Let me give you a little upgrade, BG. All right, so you're good there. Hope y'all are having a good day. Hello, Sean Paul. Thanks for donation. Hello, John Smith. Thank you. Hello, Cody. Thank you. Donations early on here. We're talking Avengers. Hello, Danny. Hello, GC Geek Army. Hello, Uzumaki Clan. We got a bunch of people here today to talk Avengers spoilers. Like I said, there will be spoilers in this discussion. We have a lot of stuff to talk about here. We're going to get y'all's thoughts on the movie. We're going to compare it to other films. The movie's been out for about 4 days. About 4 days now. There are still some packed. Thank you, Joseph. Thank you, Ixane. Thank you so much for your kind donations. It means a lot to me. It's been a while since I've done one of these. We're going to talk spoilers, initial thoughts. Some of us have seen the movie twice. Some of us seen it once. Some of us seen it multiple times. So I want to introduce some people who are here with me right now. I got the brothers with me right now.
The fuck y'all streaming?
Dude, I'm live right now, dude.
Come on.
No, it's not funny. It's not funny, dude. It's really not. I'm sorry, it's not funny. But we're talking about Avengers, the movie. Have you seen Avengers yet?
Nope.
Okay, he left. Yeah. Gohan, lock the room for me, please. Thank you. No, I am not in my Discord. This is not my Discord. I don't have a Discord server. I'm in someone else's. PJ Barnes is asking a question about the best arc. We're going to get to that here in a minute. So let me introduce people who are on first. Dr. Love 307. Get your fucking friends out of here, bro.
Hey, what's up, everybody?
The man who destroys Bandai games one at a time, bro. You're going to have another Dragon Ball. You'll have another Dragon Ball game to destroy very soon, but your audio quality is not very good. Just letting you know that now. You sound terrible, actually. I'm just letting you know. I'm serious. You're cutting out every 2 seconds. You don't sound good.
I know. Hold on, because I have it on push to talk.
Oh.
I'm trying to. Yeah. I don't really know the timing on that, but I'm plugging in my other mic right now anyway.
Well, I'm glad that you are doing better, John, for your intestinal issues. BG Anime is here. BG, I thought you only talked about anime.
My first love was comics before it was anime.
Really? So you were into American comics first. What were some of your favorite titles growing up?
Ultimate Spider-Man.
That's it?
Ultimate Spider-Man was my main thing. It's pretty much Spider-Man comics in general was my main thing.
Okay. Go ahead.
Yeah, it was Spider-Man and X-Men were the main things I read.
I was going to say that, actually. See, it's funny, BG, because you're about 10 years younger than I am, but my generation also grew up with Spider-Man and X-Men. In the early 90s, that was what was hot. Because of the anime series, because of the new toy line they were putting out in the comics, Avengers was not an A title in the 90s. In the 80s, it was, from my understanding. In the 90s, it was all about Spider-Man and X-Men and Deadpool and other characters. It's interesting that now, because of the MCU, we're seeing these characters like Iron Man, who was not an A-plus player in Marvel in the 90s and 2000s, now in 2000s he is again because of these movies. These movies have made these guys bigger. So it's interesting. Mr. Gohan is here.
Hello, everybody.
Oh, dude.
Mr. Gohan.
My favorite scene in the movie is when Scarlet Witch and her boobs was fighting Thanos, and they were big.
That was the best part. She was kicking his ass.
I wanted to lick them. They were bouncing, dude. It was very nice. So we're talking about Avengers here. We're going to discuss a lot of different things. And those of you who are asking about Brandon Draven, all right, Draven will be on the Geekdom 101 podcast this Wednesday. I actually was going to upload that today, but the Libsyn account I have is out of space because the last podcast we did was over 2 hours, ate up all the space. So Wednesday, May 1st, Brandon Draven will be on the Geekdom 101 podcast for another 2 hours. Another 2 hours discussing Avengers Endgame. So let's talk about this movie. The first question I want to ask you guys, and I want the chat to also participate as well in this, but I want to ask also the guys on the call. Many of you guys have seen this movie already more than once. I would hope so. But right now, on Sunday, do you think Endgame is better than Infinity War? Which one do you like more?
I'll go first. I like Infinity War more just because, in my opinion, the first hour of Endgame was a little too low paced for my liking. I don't know. I just overall I didn't really feel like the movie slowed down at all in Infinity War, and they kind of just got to it. Whereas in Endgame, it was how it's 3 hours and each hour was kind of like its own segment of how they progressed the plot. But I don't know. I actually fell asleep a couple times during the first hour, but I was asleep.
Wait a minute, brother. Brother, I'm sorry, but you have a history of falling asleep, not just in movies, but in a lot of different places, bro. So
I know.
I don't know, man. I mean, you.
No, no.
I had to leave. I had to leave for a second. What did I miss?
Dr. Love's talking about how he never falls asleep, even though he does.
Yeah, he fell asleep during the first hour, apparently.
He fell asleep during the first hour of Endgame. Well, I don't know. BG, the question was, and you can't leave anymore. The question was, and I want the chat to just type in which one you like better, Endgame or Infinity War. Which one did you like better? Do you think Endgame is better than Infinity War?
I do.
Well, tell us why.
Because it's what is it? While Infinity War was a fun film and had a lot of action, a lot of moments, you can't really have a real focus because there's a big amount of characters, so you can't really give everybody shine. And as a result of that, a lot of characters were shafted. Most of Cap's team didn't really have much development at all. So it was just they just did cool shit. In this movie, it was a much smaller cast, so it was much easier to focus on it. So it gave us a lot more emotional moments, a lot more development for the majority of the cast. Most of them got moments. Everything was nice.
I feel like Infinity War gave us. I'm sorry. Go ahead. You first. You finish. I thought you were done.
Yeah. So essentially, it just and not to mention some of the conversations they had here just impacted me a lot more. Like that one with Thor and his mom.
Yeah, it was more emotional. I did put the chat on the screen right now, so y'all should see it. I mean, Infinity War, I think, had more fun moments. Like the fight in New York was fun. The interaction with Spider-Man, Star-Lord, Drax, and Thor, and all the different interactions you had in Infinity War had more fun. This movie was just supposed to. I feel like with Infinity War, the Russos were trying to entertain. I think with Endgame, the Russos were trying to really hit you in the heart and grab your heart and pull it out, because they tried a lot in this film, whether it be Tony's conversation with his father in the past, because you got a lot of family stuff going on. Tony and his daughter and his wife, whether it be Captain America and his would-be girlfriend, whether it be and who wound up being his wife at the end of the movie. We're gonna get to that later, because there is a plot hole.
Also, Scott Lang meeting his daughter again.
Scott Lang, thank you. That scene, and Thor and his mom. This movie tried really hard to hit you in the feels, dude. And it really did. Do you agree, Mr. Gohan, as somebody who has more siblings than Wakanda's population?
Absolutely. I mean, especially with Tony and his daughter, that reminded me of little sister, and that really hit me.
I wish I had Doctor Strange's powers, so then they wake up with the damn alarm, and if they don't, I'll put a hole in their bed. Wake them up that way, dude.
But
Wake
other
up
than
with a
that,
damn alarm.
I still do believe that I like Endgame more than Infinity War, especially for that payoff at the end with every single superhero that was ever in the Marvel, most of them come in and just beat the shit out of Thanos' army. It was just spectacular. And then you see Spider-Man for a little bit with the insta-kill mode, and then you see Black Panther come in and start ripping shit up, and everybody just started just scrapping everything. It was crazy.
Yeah, it was one of the craziest set pieces ever. How would you compare the final battle of this film? I don't want to talk about about Game of Thrones because that happened tonight and I didn't see it. I have to catch up with the series. That was a big one too. But film wise, how would you compare the final battle of Endgame, the Battle of New York 2, basically when Thanos' 2014 army invaded? How would you compare that to Return of the Jedi and Return of the King as far as scope, as far as grandiose, as far as being a big battle? How would you compare it?
Oh,
You're asking all of us or just go?
All of you, but you go for it, BG. Just step right in.
I'd say it was. I'd say it was really good because it's like it was I'd say it was one of the best one of the better fights like for like climaxes to me at least because of how emotional it was. I know it had a buttload of fan service, but if you've been sticking with these movies for as long as we have, yeah, it would impact you way more than most other thing.
Yeah, I agree. Ace, I want you to leave right now, bro, but we're talking spoilers. Go see the movie. I told you I'm not going to spoil the movie for you. Leave. Thank you for support, but leave. If you have not seen this movie, you should not be here, okay? This is a movie you should not see if you're spoiled. Dr. Love, what do you think, bro? I feel like Return of the King had that really long final battle. This one was not as long. In fact, this final battle in Endgame, I don't think it was even as long as the one from Avengers 1, which was like 45 minutes.
Yeah, I don't think it was that because remembering the fight, I like from where it was just Captain America, Thor, and Iron Man just coming at Thanos until like Thanos gets wiped. Basically, I don't think it really was that long, but it was just kind of like what BG said, where like there was just so much. Like mainly especially if you've caught up with these movies since Iron Man won the whole MCU, there was just so much emotion with it. Where at first, like the original three were Iron Man, Thor, and Captain America are coming at him, and then everyone else come back in, and you just see them all coming to portals and gaining up together. Then they go after Thanos and the army, and then when it finally goes to the part at the part that really got me, like when it hit me that I knew that something was gonna happen to Iron Man. I was like, oh shoot, was when Thor got not Thor, Thanos got the Iron glove with the stones in it, and he was about to do the snap, and they thought getting into everything with like Captain Marvel, and then when Iron Man finally got it, well, we thought that they tried to trick us.
Love, your mic is not good, bro. It's really bad. It's skipping a lot. It's got lag.
Is it?
Yeah, it's bad. Just letting you know.
Let me fix this. Let me fix this.
Yeah, fix it, and then let's go to BG.
all right. Oh,
BG. Yeah, go for it.
You can go on first.
Okay,
Go on first.
go on.
because I was gonna say, in this fight scene, even though they brought everybody, Doctor Strange's people, they brought Wakanda and Asgard, everybody and their mom was there, but they had to cut a
siblings?
lot. Yeah, even my siblings. But they had to cut a lot in between everybody to show off what everybody was doing. And even then, they were still trying to take our heart out with our emotions because Tony and Peter got to meet up for a couple of seconds. We got to see that. And it was just lots of, smashing stuff. And then Falcon comes in, rips shit. Valkyrie comes in, rips the ship that Thanos had from his army. And then Scarlet Witch, the best girl, just comes in, beats up Thanos to the point that he's going to use his own ship and shoot at his own people because he can't beat her up.
Yeah, I know, right? And they were like, "No, sir, no, sir." I love it. I love it so much. We're gonna get to some super chats here in a second, but I just I loved the 3-on-1 fight with Thanos against Thor, Cap, and and Iron Man, because it's like, you know, the three core Avengers. We're missing Hulk, of course, but he was discombobulated. His arm didn't work. I love that fight because we had that great moment with Cap using Thor's hammer, which was teased in Ultron. He finally got to use it. Even Thor, you know, they had the scene where the axe was about to hit Thor. You know, he was about to actually cut Thor's head off, you know, with the way the axe was going right into him. And then, boom, clang, Thanos gets hit, and he turns around, and there's Cap with the hammer. So, what a great scene. And then we have the scene where Thanos' army shows up, and then Cap is like, you know, he's just by himself facing off against the entire army, bro. And that was so alpha.
And he only had half a shield, and he was ready to go, and then everyone jumped in.
Yeah, when Thanos cracked the shield, that was right out of the comics. So he's looking up at this army, and then all of a sudden, the you know, you hear Falcon, you know, on your left, sir. And then we see the Wakandans walk out. Then we see Falcon. Then we see the little hole rip over behind him. And then you had the big, huge army. They had the Valkyrie there. They had the Ravagers were there. That was surprising. God, there were so many people there, all dead Avengers. The only thing that I feel, and this is a little bit of a nitpick, but let's be real here, guys. The final battle felt a bit rushed, and I know it was a 3-hour movie. They couldn't. It's hard to cram everything in, but we didn't really see a moment with the Guardians of the Galaxy that I really wanted them to be reunited and say, you know, hey, we're alive. Hey, Rocket. You know, we didn't really get that moment, and we didn't get that many cool team ups. There was a few here and there, but I really wanted to see some weird stuff. But again, we got some of that stuff from Infinity War, you know, but I wanted to see more of it. Like, I wanted to see Black Panther work with Doctor Strange. I wanted to see Spider-Man work with Rocket. You know, we didn't see those things. But it was a huge scene. I feel like Black Panther and Bucky did nothing in that final battle, yo. Like, War Machine barely did anything either. Like, they just couldn't show. They couldn't show everything.
They were doing things, but they didn't really show the result of what they were doing. Because there was a second where Bucky was shooting, but you were looking at him. You weren't looking at where he was shooting.
I think it was fine this time because they got their shine for that stuff, like in the first, in like Infinity War. Except Bucky, of course. Bucky got shafted in both films, if you ask me. But yeah, like what was it?
Bucky shines in Winter Soldier the most, easily.
Oh yeah, of course.
It's his movie. Yeah. Yeah, but you were saying?
It's mostly his movie in that one.
Yeah,
that makes sense.
But you were saying about this movie. Continue.
Yeah, like I feel like the ones that didn't get a lot of shine already got their shine in the previous movie.
Right. I still want to.
That's why it's like. Yeah, so it's like that's why it didn't really bother me.
I mean, I just wanted to see more team ups, but I mean, what can you do? I mean, the final scene was still pretty long, and there was a lot of stuff. We gotta talk about the time travel here in a second, but I want to get to some of these super chat questions first because we have super chatters. There's a lot of super chatters. Go ahead, bro. What were you saying?
Okay. I was gonna read out the super chat. That's what I was gonna do. So,
wait, you have access to it?
Yeah, I can just scroll up and see the previous ones, unless you want to put them on screen.
Well, it's on screen right now. PJ Barnes wrote. I'll just read them and then you answer them. Best arc of the saga: Thor, Tony, or Cap? That's a great question because I feel like all three of the characters had tremendous story arcs. Same thing with Hulk. Hulk's story arc was from Ragnarok, Infinity War, and this movie. I know somebody earlier asked if there should have been a trilogy, and some consider Ragnarok part of this trilogy. I don't, but it does kind of fit, you know, because it's right before it. But I don't know who got the best arc. I would say probably because Cap was already kind of a main character. He got a great send-off. Tony had a tremendous arc too. He started off as being an egotistical maniac narcissist, and then he wound up being this loving family man. And then Thor was kind of this confused son trying to be the apple of his dad's eye, and then he loses his freaking family. Everyone dies. His mom, his dad, his brother. They're all gone. His people are gone, and he becomes this like alcoholic guy who plays Fortnite all day. I don't know. What do y'all think? Who had the best arc? They were all really good.
To me, it'd be between Thor and Cap, because both of them have tragic lives. Was it pretty much it's like because you had Cap going from this thing where he's a big golden boy, pretty much he's like the embodiment of a true patriot until he realizes that the country he's dedicated his life to serve actually isn't out for him.
You're talking about in Winter Soldier when you find out Hydra's in control?
Yeah, and then pretty much at that point he had to reevaluate his whole life. He pretty much had no purpose until he realized that Yeah, until he realized he pretty much has to live for him, and he's to play by his own rules.
He
And
was
just do
about
it-
he was mostly about the American way more than just Hydra and Shield. You know what I mean? He became more
Yeah,
about
yeah,
what's right.
exactly. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
'Cause he wanted to do what was morally correct and not what.
Well, pretty much. Well, that's the thing. He pretty much believed that that whatever what is it? Whatever was in the best interest of America is what was the best interest is what's best. Until he realized that that's not always the case.
Well, I
Yeah,
loved the fact that all 6 of the original Avengers got arcs. They all did, because even Jeremy Renner's character, Hawkeye / Ronin, he loses his family at the beginning of the film, first shot of the movie. Which, by the way, the theater reacted like crazy the way they kind of got rid of the family without dusting them. It was just kind of like he turned around, they were gone. That was pretty cool. He loses his freaking mind, becomes Ronin, starts killing the Mexican cartel, and then goes after the Japanese mafia. He's getting rid of all the mafias here within 5 years. Just this, vigilante killer. And then it takes the hope of bringing his family back. And then at the end of the film, he does reunite with his family, which is a very touching moment. He gets an arc too, but at the same time, not without a cost. And that was, of course, the sacrifice of Black Widow, who her only family was the Avengers and the heroes that work with them. She sacrifices herself in a great scene where she's fighting with Ronin about, with Hawkeye about who should go over the hill, that is. And she, of course, sacrificed herself. Tremendous stuff. They all got arcs, all of them, everyone.
For a second there for Hawkeye, when he and Black Widow were fighting about who was gonna die, I really thought that he was gonna take the blow, but in the end, it was just Black Widow.
Well, I think it's because they just his family's probably why they didn't do it. What were you gonna say?
At least for me, at first I was like, when they first went to Vormir, we all knew one of them wasn't coming back. So I was like, okay, I'm pretty sure it's gonna be her. It's gonna be her. And no, him. I was like, it's gonna be him. Obviously, they're not gonna kill her. And then I thought about it for a minute. And I was like, wait a second, why would they kill him when he wasn't even in the last movie? Like she had shine in that some shine in that last movie.
Right.
Him, he didn't even show up. So I was like, that would be a big waste to pretty much bring him back just to kill him.
They left him out of the entire film, and he got a lot of shine in this film. Same thing with Captain America. Captain America did a few cool things in Infinity War, but he really shined a lot in this film. He was right in the center of everything. When they went to New York, he fought himself. When they went to 1970, he met Peggy. Like, they really... What a great send-off for that character, in my opinion.
And also, when he fought Thanos, he was fighting for most of the time. He got the hammer, so he used his hammer and the shield. And he had to keep holding him off until everybody else came in, and we had the big war at the end.
Rookie Critic talks about the scene with Happy and Morgan at Tony's funeral. Very, very sad. The hamburgers, of course, being a line from Iron Man 1, where Tony said he wanted hamburgers when he broke out of the cave. John Hernandez says, "Hey, Geekdom, I hope you're doing well. I am, thank you. I'm doing better from my intestinal issues. Thanks for wishing me luck." Yeah, this guy on Twitter, I think it was on Twitter, was talking about how he had intestinal surgery. I think it was surgery, and I wished him luck on that. I mean, I wish luck to everybody going through any kind of surgery out there. It's scary, and let's trust the doctor knows what the hell he's doing. It looks like he, in his case, it did. Ant-Man says, "How do you feel about X-Men and Fantastic Four on the way?" I don't think we're going to get that till Phase 5. What I want to know is, how are they going to put them into the story? With Fantastic Four, I feel like that's easy. With the X-Men, though, because there's a whole history of mutation and we've got, ancient mutants and things like that, how could they possibly... I want to pick y'all's brain here. How can they possibly take the X-Men and put them into the MCU seamlessly now at this rate?
I have a slight idea what they could do.
Tell me.
I have none. So.
They could just say that pretty much they went into hiding. There's two ways to do it. They could
Like
have
the
been hiding
Morlocks?
for a long time. Kinda. Yeah. Oh, you mean like in what is it? The Age of Apocalypse?
Well, the Morlocks existed way before that. But yeah, they're underground, hiding from humans. Yeah. Go ahead. Okay.
Yeah, you could do something where they were hiding where they just tried to hide in plain sight until, of course, the superhero stuff has been getting bigger and bigger, especially what it is now. And then they decided finally it might be time to finally come out of hiding.
Do you think that they're gonna retcon it so that Wanda is in fact Magneto's daughter, bro? Because they could say like,
there's a very easy way for them to retcon that. I've been thinking about that for years. It's simple. You could easily just say that pretty much they were always mutants, but the Mind Stone activated their X gene.
Right, that's easy. I also was thinking that maybe the snap maybe they tried some kind of radiation shit during the 5-year gap after Thanos got his head cut off, and you know the second part, I guess, of the Infinity Saga here in Endgame, where maybe during those 5 years we're seeing mutants slowly kind of come up. They didn't get to fight in the final battle against Thanos, but they were there. And because there's a lot of unanswered questions about those 5 years, man. I wonder, was Earth just safe the whole time? Like nothing happened? There were no... So wait, BG, you're telling me that there was, for 10 years, there was all these threats to the Earth, and then during those 5 years, there was nothing?
I mean, there's a good possibility that this did affect the entire universe. So I feel like everybody was trying to adjust and adapt.
So that means Captain Marvel was just working her ass off for 5 years.
She did say that, actually.
Yeah, she did. Yeah, she was in other planets.
Working her ass off for the most part.
Did you think...
Also,
Go ahead.
I was actually going to say one thing, though. I'm hoping that's not the case for why the X-Men exist, because if that's the case, that pretty much means that, Xavier and Wolverine have no history.
Yes, you're going to have to figure out a way to rewrite all those characters' history. And I don't know how they can do it. Now, the only thing I could possibly think of is that with time travel hijinks, because they did go back in time and change things and create new timelines, which we're going to get to here in a minute, because they broke their own time travel rules in the movie. One of the flaws of the film is that the time travel rules were broken at the end of the movie. Without question, they were. You can argue it all you want to, but they were.
Oh, no. I think I pointed that out to you. I'm one of the ones that pointed that out.
I know, but I'm talking about a lot of people have been defending it, and it is a great ending for Cap, and I love the ending. Don't get me wrong.
They blatantly broke the rules, but I feel like they knew what they were doing with that one.
It was
because
yeah. Mm-hmm.
Okay, first of all, it's not a lot of plot holes, but anyway.
No, it's only a couple.
Oh, no. Somebody says, to be honest, this movie has a lot of plot holes because, for number one, why does Iron Man have a kid? Because he fucked.
Because he had sex, bro. You want me to show you how to? BG, I'll show you how to do it real quick. BG will demonstrate that real quick, bro. If you really want him to.
I'm like, unless of course, sex is a plot hole in real life too, I guess.
Well, for some of it, maybe for that guy it is, bro. Maybe he never tried it, bro. I mean, I don't know, but I'm just, it makes sense that the Iron Man have a kid, bro. Maybe he figures his Iron Man was tired. It's like, yeah, but he wasn't tired the entire time. He did recover, from
I'm pretty sure he was tired after making that kid.
What are you trying to say? He can't last, bro? BG and everybody can last 2 hours like you can, bro. I mean, that's not fair. You pick on Tony Stark for that, bro. He's also older than you are, bro. It's not really fair. Come on, dude.
But yeah, no, like I said, there's not a lot of plot. I've seen a lot of people start to say that now. There's not a lot of plot holes in the movie. Really, the biggest one is the one at the end, but that was more like intentional because they wanted to give Cap a happy ending.
We're gonna talk.
I see why they did it. And
yeah,
I'm like, but yeah, it's still, regardless, it's a plot hole regardless.
Yeah, and for those of you who are confused, real quick, I'm gonna do a video on this eventually, but essentially, the Ancient One explained that when you go back in time and you change something, it creates a divergent timeline, like with Dragon Ball. It's very similar. You don't just have a change of the future. You don't change your future. It just makes a different timeline. Well, that happened at least a few times in this film, and I'll tell you why. Number one, Captain America, going back in time, he should not have existed in the same timeline. When he went back in time to marry Peggy Carter, that should have created a separate timeline for him to exist in, because he had to exist in order for the events of Captain America 2, 3, Civil War, all that stuff had to have happened, Avengers, with him on Earth as Captain America, not as the retired Steve Rogers marrying and banging Peggy Carter. It doesn't make any sense, and then also...
Well, the thing is that...
Mm-hmm.
Oh, go ahead.
No, I was gonna say, and then also, it doesn't make sense either because he shouldn't have been in that timeline. Now, there's another time travel problem. Even though he did go back in time, put the stones where they should have been. Number one, what happened to the Soul Stone? Because can you just give it back to Red Skull? Did that bring Black Widow back to life in a different timeline? I don't think so. But maybe we'll get an answer to that in Guardians 3. Now, the question is, when Thanos came to the future, when Thanos left 2014, right? When he left 2014, he took himself out of that timeline, and he was destroyed by Tony Stark at the end of the film, wiped away, right? There is no Thanos in 2014 anymore. So that creates another split timeline where Thanos does not exist, and thus Infinity War never happened in that timeline.
Yeah. That's I was actually going to get to that.
Yeah, is that what you were going to say?
No, I was going to get to the fact that it was like, what is it? Well, the thing is, when it comes to Cap... No, the things would have still happened because he came to a time. When he stopped in time. When he stopped in the 40s, he stopped after he crashed into the water. So he would still exist. Like the Captain America persona would still exist. It's just that Steve Rogers would also exist. There'd be 2 Captain Americas.
That's
in
what
that
I'm saying.
timeline.
There would be 2, but he's not allowed to do that because you don't stay in the same timeline. Because remember, Peggy died in Civil War. Peggy has a daughter with a different husband. If he stayed in that timeline, that would erase her existence, and there would not have been a Civil War. The whole thing is jacked up.
Oh yeah, no, it is. It definitely is. Because the thing is, the biggest problem would be the fact that, well, for one, it's like if it should have, as you said, it should have created a divergent timeline.
It
Somehow
did.
he ends up in their timeline.
Yeah, that was a mistake.
Well,
Also,
it did-
Loki taking. Yeah, you're right. And Loki taking the cube should have made another timeline because who knows where he's at with the cube.
Well, that probably did create another timeline because that doesn't affect theirs.
So now we've got 4 timelines like Dragon Ball. Great. That's what's going on. I mean, I can't. Also, there might be other butterfly effects that created more alternate timelines. I mean, we don't know.
Well, luckily we have these TV shows that are coming up, and Loki is one of the ones with the show, so might even see what happens to that Loki.
I certainly hope so. Rookie Critic says, should the Infinity Story have been a trilogy? I think 2 movies is fine. One of them is 3 hours long. Would you have really waited another year to see the outcome of this? I don't know. What do you think?
I'm kind of with the chat that this kind of is like whatchamacallit.
A trilogy?
Like Ragnarok is part of this story. Ragnarok is part of that.
Yeah.
Because it's like at the very end of the movie, it's the very beginning of Infinity War.
Yes. No, you're right. And also parts of Ant-Man too.
Well, yeah, at the very end, and the concept of the quantum realm.
Ron Banner says, "Do you believe the Black Widow and Hawkeye fight was predictable once you knew where they were and Peter Parker in school? You know that was 5 years later." Well, the Peter Parker thing in school is a separate topic altogether because we have questions about that as well. But Black Widow and Hawkeye fight, to me, it was not predictable because I didn't realize, I had forgotten about the sacrifice until they actually got there. And I'm thinking in the back of my head, are they going to knock out Red Skull and take it anyways? Like, is there a different way to do it? But I guess not. I thought it was a good way to kill off Black Widow, but I just wonder what's going to be left for that prequel because, you know, it's a prequel, right? We're probably going to see Budapest. We've been talking about Budapest for a while. I feel like, you know, the prequel might lose some steam, but I still think that there's a chance in Guardians 3 with Adam Warlock they could go back into the Soul Realm and take Gamora from 2018 and Black Widow out. They could do that. They could save them. It's not too late for that.
What is it? With the way Guardians 3 is looking, I think that Gamora is dead.
Well, then that means
they already have a new one.
Yeah, well, yeah, but that's the thing. We don't know what her fate was. We don't know if she left on a ship. Like when they showed her like kneeing, you know, Quill in the nuts, they didn't show what happened to her after. We don't know where she's at. We don't know what she's doing. Is she with Nebula? Who knows? And they're searching for.
She's not with Nebula because Nebula's on the ship.
And they are searching. Well, they're searching for Gamora. So.
So she's definitely alive. So she'll definitely be in Guardians 3.
I mean, that's what I thought too. But people were saying, "Oh no, she may have been dusted," and it was like, okay, well,
she wasn't. They're not. These people need to understand something. There's always the rule of, you know, what is it? If they don't show a body, then they're not dead. That's one of those.
Yeah, but there were a lot of bodies that didn't show, bro. I did pop when Ebony Maw got wiped.
But the thing is, you got to remember, they're only showing the ones that are important. She's very important. Yeah, at least in that aspect of that part of the film. They wouldn't just kill her off screen. That's
true. No, you're right. That's a very good point. That's a very, very good point. So yeah, maybe we'll see 2 Gamoras, or maybe we won't. I mean, it's difficult to say. Someone started snoring behind us during the film. That was Dr. Love who did that. Shane Gilroy says, in Age of Ultron, Cap moved the hammer slightly. The way that Thor reacted to Cap wielding Mjolnir saying, "I knew it," the way I interpreted that, well, he could always move it, but was being nice. Thoughts? I think Cap was always worthy, but maybe he wasn't worthy enough, and then he became worthy enough against Thanos. I don't know. What do you think?
There's a big possibility that me and my best friend talked about this recently. He said that his like speculation is that he was worthy until, of course, the Winter Soldier happened, and since that was like right before Age of Ultron, that means he found out recently that Tony's parents were killed by Bucky. So at that point, he was already keeping a dark secret like that. So I think he feels that was what was keeping him from being fully worthy of that hammer.
That's a great point. That is a great point. BG may have just figured it out right there. That is a great point you just made. We were up to 700 people. I was not expecting this many people here tonight, but this is a hot movie. So, do you think that they'll actually run with a Falcon Captain America angle, or was it just for show? No, I think there's going to be a Captain. And by the way, if I don't read your super chat, it's because there's not really a question, but I want to thank you for your support. Like James Harris, thank you. Just want to say that. Well, there is a Falcon Bucky TV show planned for Disney Plus for the next couple of years, and maybe they're going to trade Captain America Shield back and forth. I mean, maybe some people are mad that Bucky didn't get it, and maybe he should have because Falcon's not a super soldier. I don't know what they're going to do, but both have been Captain America in the comics.
Could I say something about that?
Yeah.
I mean, Bucky was a Russian spy killing Americans. You wouldn't want him being Captain America.
Yeah, but he's
I know
somewhat
he's super-
redeemed. He is somewhat redeemed. Maybe he's not fully redeemed yet. Didn't he say he had to go to Wakanda for that? I don't know.
Yeah, he is somewhat redeemed. Then again, though, I still think Falcon would do way better because if you
Not
take
to
away
mention,
that
it's like-
arm from Bucky, he's just a one-armed guy.
Yeah, the thing
That's
is,
true.
you got to keep something in mind. What is it? The role of Captain America should only be given to one who not only has the skills but also the mindset. And the mindset and the patriotism is the main aspect of Captain America, because he's not just a strong man. He's a symbol and he's like a caricature of America.
Because
If you're
Steven
a-
Rogers-
Allegory.
If you're a fucking if you're a fucking terrorist to Americans, I don't think you'd be the best fit for Captain America.
because
Right.
Steve Rogers was just a really weak guy who had the heart to help the United States. That's why
Ninja said,
the power
Ninja said it-
personifies it.
yeah, Ninja said it best. Bucky would have to redeem himself to America to be Captain
Well,
America.
and he was mind controlled, but we don't really know what the status is of that mind control. Were they able to totally fix him? We don't know. They never gave us an update on that. I
Well, it's
assume
like-
that they
what-
did.
Yeah, it's like you're saying what Rayvon Velez, you said you're saying he was mind controlled. Well, I know he was mind controlled.
Yeah, we all
Regardless,
know.
I'm like, I don't think that makes a difference.
Well,
I
that's
don't
what I'm
think
saying. He
that
might
matters
be
to
too
the people.
dangerous. He might be too dangerous to be Captain America because what if he gets mind controlled again? That's the thing they have to figure out. So maybe
it's like-
maybe
it's like-
that will be a storyline in the TV show.
Yeah, it's like we know this. We know the circumstances, but the American people don't.
Joseph Buffington says, "How about when Nat was so happy and giddy when she said see you in a minute after seeing it a second time? That hit me hard. Is that when when she was fighting with Clint? I don't even remember that line.
Wait, what was the line?
I remember the line. I don't remember where it was at.
When she says see you in a minute, I don't remember the line. Christopher LaRosa, thank you. And thank you, Big Dog. Sean Paul. Did I lose my, here we go. He says, do we know why Hulk wouldn't come back after being beaten by Thanos in Infinity War? They never really explained it, but my guess was that his spirit, he was afraid. Because didn't he say in one scene that he was afraid? He was like, no.
I wish. I wish that was the reason. This is one of the few times I don't like the Russo's reasoning. The Russos explained that the reason that Hulk didn't come out is that he was tired of being used. Like Hulk was tired of being the save it all. He was like, hey, you need to fix your own problems. You need to stop relying on me. It was stupid. I didn't like it.
Anime Hero says, about to watch it again. Please save the stream. Also, time travel works the same as in DBZ. Well, except for when they broke the rule at the end. They broke it.
Yeah.
Big Dog, how do you feel about Thor being ruined in Endgame? He was not ruined, in my opinion. A lot of people think he was ruined. I don't think he was ruined. What I loved about this Thor is that we've seen all the different kinds of Thor. We've seen him with long hair, short hair, yellow eyebrows, black eyebrows, armor, no armor, Mjolnir, Stormbreaker. Now we're seeing Lebowski Thor, and he's really funny, and he fits right in with the Guardians, and he's still really powerful. Was he nerfed? Yes. Here's the question I have actually about that, but in my opinion, I don't think Thor was ruined. Do you think Thor was ruined?
Oh, I might go on a bit of a tangent about this one.
I will say this:
Most people who-
even if you think he's ruined, it doesn't mean he can't make a comeback someday and be ripped Chris Hemsworth again. They could do that very easily, you know.
But yeah, no, like I might go on a bit of a tangent. The thing is, the biggest reason people keep saying he was ruined because, well, I'm like, excuse me for this. A lot of people wanted to fuck him, so they're tired of him being fat. They don't like him being fat. He's not attracted to them. That's one thing.
But BGI, never mind. I was gonna make a joke and I'm not gonna make it. I'm not gonna make that
Anyway,
joke. I'm not making that joke right now.
Character, the thing about this story that people don't understand is that this was great for him because what is it? It fully explored his mindset. His thing is that he pretty much throughout all these movies has been trying to figure. He's had an identity crisis both in universe and out of universe.
Right.
Because out of universe they didn't know what the fuck to do with this dude. They didn't know how they wanted to write him.
Yeah. Then finally in Ragnarok they figured it out.
Yeah, but then in universe he had been trying to pretty much be this king figure, even though he wasn't really good at it, and that was never something that he himself was fit for. But that was what was expected of him, so he just kept trying his best to do it. And then here they finally explore that fact to get to the point where Thor isn't Thor. I'm Thor. I'm not meant to be a king. I'm meant to be a warrior, an adventurer. So that's why he ends up with the Guardians of the Galaxy. And concludes his character arc.
All right,
which is actually great.
I know, and he's not even done yet. I mean, like I said, there could be a fourth Thor movie. He could stick around for the next Avengers crossover film. He's not done. Chris Hemsworth is not done. Chris Evans and Robert Downey for now are done, even though I do expect them to come back in the future. I'm not gonna lie. Once one of these movies does not perform well, hey, Iron Man's back. Captain, I'm telling you, yo, it's his daughter or something. You know, he's a hologram now, because there is talk that he may have uploaded his brain into a computer, because they did that in the comics. So that could be the case. Let's do a little bit of power scaling. Do you think that Ragnarok's Thor, when he was powered up, could have killed Thanos in this film? And I'm talking about 2014 Thanos.
No, because 2014 Thanos himself is kind of buffed.
He is pretty strong.
I'm not gonna lie. For 2014 Thanos had, at least when it came to fighting these dudes, had a better. You could honestly say might have had a better showing than the Infinity Gauntlet one.
Yeah, it's weird that he fought so much, but you know why? I think it's because he was angry. See, in the Infinity Gauntlet, he was kind of on the defensive Infinity Gauntlet, or Infinity War, I mean. But when he had the Gauntlet, he could do so much more things. And I feel like they nerfed the Gauntlet a little bit, and they totally did compared to the comics. But they also boosted 2014 Thanos. And one thing I love about 2014 Thanos is how much of a prick he was. See, 2018 Thanos or whatever, he was just kind of chill. Like, he just wanted to do his thing. He would fight for what he believed was the right thing to do. This Thanos was angry. He wanted to mutilate everybody. He wanted to hurt the Avengers, make them feel pain, and he wanted to get pleasure out of it. This is a totally different Thanos. I mean, it's the same guy, but he's angry now, and he's pissed that he succeeded in his plan, and they took it away from him.
Yeah, because he was just like, you know what? I shouldn't just restart this whole universe because of people like you who just can't accept the fact that I'm trying to bless you with something.
What he should have done is kill the Avengers instead of just snapping and disappearing. If he was smart, he'd go back to Earth, wipe out the Avengers, see if he could find Captain Marvel, wipe her out, and then call it a day, even though he probably had no idea who she was. Now, I want to talk about Captain Marvel here in a second, but first, Thor with a beer gut was hilarious. I mean, I like beer gut Thor. It's different. You got to remember that's different. Is Thanos worthy? He grabbed the axe in the air. No, he's just very, very strong. Also, I don't think you have to be worthy to wield Stormbreaker. How should they introduce Dr. He goes, Brandon, I can't pronounce his last name. Arai. He says, how should they introduce Dr. Doom? I think with the Fantastic Four, like before, but maybe in a post-credit scene or something. What do you think?
Well, I'd say that they definitely need to have him separate from them, because they've tried the angle where he was part of them. Like, they tried the classic route and they tried the Ultimate Comics route. Both of them suck. So you might as well just have him established already in what is it? What's it called again? Can't even remember.
What, MCU?
Latveria.
Oh, I see. No, you're right. They could do that. I think, look, no matter how they choose to introduce him, I feel like, in my opinion, if they do Secret Wars and he does not win, I'm going to be pissed. He has to win. That's the perfect storyline for him to get the W. You know, they can't change
which
that.
Secret War are you talking about?
The original, when he won. He won the original one.
Yeah, because I've watched him about the newer one where he pretty much became God.
Well, I don't know if I want to see that, but maybe I kind of do. It depends on how they do him, because that's one of my favorite villains of all time, Dr. Doom.
Oh yeah, no, though. In that one, they made him become God, and he pretty much remade the universe in his image.
Yeah, well, with that, and that's what Thanos wanted to do. Austin Long says X-Men are from an alternate dimension. I've heard that as well. They're gonna have to explain that, but that could be the case, a different Earth. Big Dog says they completely went backwards with Thor's character after Ragnarok. Taika Waititi's the only one to get Thor right. Yeah, but he was in this movie and he produced some of the stuff. So you're right. He is the only one to get Thor right, but I don't think it's over with Thor yet. Y'all got to remember, this is still, his arc is still continuing here. Juan of PP says, go for it.
I was just gonna say, I don't know how you said he went backwards. I mean, he didn't go turn into a, because he was already. People were saying he's too funny. He's been funny for 2 movies now.
Yeah, right.
This isn't new.
And he's gonna be funny. And he's gonna be really funny in Guardians 3 when James Gunn gets a hold of him.
Exactly. I'm like, he's not like they made him go from being funny to being a super somebody who takes himself too seriously again. No, they made him go from being funny to being fat and funny.
Not to mention that he's still really powerful. I mean, that scene where he's holding both Mjolnir and Stormbreaker and summoning the lightning, he's still really powerful. I think people forget that. Is he as strong as he was in Ragnarok? Probably not, but he's still really strong. What'd you think about Scarlet Witch and her scene with Thanos and that power up? We know if you read the comics, especially House of M, she is a beast. She's an Omega level mutant in that arc.
Yeah.
What do you think
She was
about?
angry.
Yeah, she's like Gohan. She has the Gohan thing. So not
her
Gohan on
her kid. Didn't she have a miscarriage? I think it was.
I don't remember. I was gonna say not Gohan in the arc, Gohan not in the call, Gohan in Dragon Ball. So do you think it made sense for her to go toe to toe with Thanos?
Oh yeah, absolutely. Because she was already able to like stop his glove when she was already like in the last film when she was like desperate. This one he was pissed.
She was ready to take revenge and she took it.
Mr. J says that even if Thor was at peak of this, he would have lost to Thanos. I disagree. I think the fact that he threw look, in Infinity War, Thanos had the gauntlet. Thor threw Stormbreaker and went through the beam of the gauntlet, which I did not like, and literally pierced Thanos' chest. I feel like Thor would have beaten him Thor Infinity War would have beaten Thanos in this film, in my opinion.
I don't think so, actually. I think that this movie actually proves that's literally an outlier. Like I think the way I've actually just interpreted that, and even when I first saw it, is that Thor, Thanos just got a little ahead of himself and just underestimated that thing's power.
Neil says, what if we get House of M in DC, but it's the reverse where Scarlet Witch creates the mutants? She's like the mother of all mutants. But then what about Magneto? What about Xavier? What about Wolverine? Right?
Yeah, I'm like, unless she rewrites her own reality, I don't know how I feel about that.
The problem with introducing new characters like this without giving them origin stories that have always, quote, been there is that you're going to wonder, where have they been, right?
Yeah.
They were in the Fox universe, and they're here now. They're going to have to really think about how they're going to do it. Juan of PP says, what do you think about the America's ass? It's nice. Here's the question. What do you think about Cap telling everyone to move on, but he didn't quite move on past Peggy? No. Cap never told people to move on. He was the one who was saying he couldn't move on. That was the storyline of the Avengers, that the world moved on, but the Avengers couldn't. So, just want to clarify that. Sean Paul, go for it, Gohan. Now I'm going to go to Sean Paul's question. We got a lot of super chats. Holy shit.
How did you guys feel about how Professor Hulk was handled? Because I feel like he was kind of just sidelined, just, do a couple of things.
He was there for comedy. We didn't see Hulk rage out against Thanos, which I really wanted to see, and he was just there for comedy. I'm just wondering where they go next with that character, because he can now control it.
I wouldn't say he was just there for comedy, because he still accomplished things. Like, he was there for comedy, but he accomplished he helped like navigate the whole time travel stuff. Plus, he was the one to actually bring everybody back. A lot of people seem to forget that.
Let's talk about.
So he was more of a plot progression character rather than a fighter.
I did
because even.
Go ahead. No, I was saying I found it funny that he didn't even invent the time travel stuff. It was Tony who did. He didn't even do.
I'm not really shocked.
You know?
If you look at the track record of the MCU, Tony probably created Facebook.
I know that, but I'm saying, but I'm saying like the fact that he was not as well used, I don't think, as I wanted him to be. Hulk, I mean.
Oh yeah, I can't argue with that, because that's one of my favorites, and they didn't really use him that well. But I will say he didn't. I'm not gonna say he didn't do anything though. Like a lot of people are trying to say.
I think the best use of Hulk is in Avengers 1 and Thor Ragnarok. Those are my 2 favorite Hulk performances in the MCU. Even more than his own movie.
I mean, in this movie, the best thing that he ever did, other than the time travel, was to tell, Doctor Strange's for the people that the wizards that if they take the stones back and put it back where they found it after they use it, then everything will be fucked up because she thought that if they take all the stones, they're just gonna take them, but if they just put them back where they were before, everything's gonna be fine. So
Well,
that was good on
that's
Bruce.
not entirely right. But now, do you think Hulk is permanently? Do you think Hulk's permanently injured? Because I feel like Bruce Banner's smart enough to fix that.
Not only that, he also has like one of the best healing factors in the verse, so I don't see that being as big of a problem.
I think
Plus, he said it was gamma. And since he also said it was gamma radiation, so yeah, that shouldn't really cripple him. I won't think.
he should be able to fix that at some point. Sean Paul says, didn't the lady with the time stone say without the infinite stones things would go bad? The infinity stones, because Thanos destroyed them in the main timeline. Is that going to be a problem? It could be, because he's right. The infinity stones have been destroyed, and if they are the stones that created the universe, that yes, something could go bad. I mean, I could totally see in a future MCU film the Living Tribunal or somebody showing up and creating new stones, just saying, hey, here are the new stones. Then we have another Infinity Chase again. Now, again, you can sit there and say, well, they would never do that, but the comic books have done so many storylines with the stones that I wouldn't put it past them to bring them back. Even if it's not the same storyline, I would not be surprised if at some point they put them back.
Also, like David Santa Maria said, they should have done World Breaker Hulk after the snap from the gamma radiation. Then everyone has to take him down. That would have been a good send-off. Nah, I don't know about that because, for one, that's not how World Breaker Hulk works. That's him at his peak rage after losing his wife and kids.
Mm-hmm.
Well, what he thought was his wife. What he thought he lost his kids, but yeah.
Well,
So
do you think that him losing Black Widow could have caused that in the movie?
No. Because he's got control. If he didn't have control, if he still didn't have control, maybe. But because he has control, that wasn't going to be the case. Not to mention, that would not fit in this movie at all. That would be, I'd be like another fucking subplot at the end of the movie.
It would be a different. It would be a different movie. I agree, and it would have made the movie longer. Hayden Walsh, one of our boys, says, do you think that Adam Warlock will be introduced in Guardians 3 and have a connection to the Soul Stone like in the comics? He could potentially bring Gamora Widow back. Yeah, we talked about that earlier in the stream already. That is definitely a possibility that he might be able to go into the Soul Stone or go into the Soul Realm, or maybe the Soul Stone resets itself. Maybe even though Thanos destroyed it, maybe that planet with what's the name of that, Vormir? Is that what it's called?
Yeah.
Yeah, maybe that planet makes another Soul Stone. I mean, I really don't think so, but yeah, Thanos destroying the stones was an interesting idea because I feel like they might have got rid of the stones permanently, but at the same time, I don't think so because you're right, they have to be there to maintain balance in the galaxy, in the universe. Excuse me, not the galaxy. I'm thinking Star Wars. KT, like Trunks, he didn't change the past, came back to his future when he was older, kept his suit the whole time. No, that's not like Trunks because Trunks didn't go back in time and appear in the future later on. That's not at all like Trunks. Captain America going back in time and dating Peggy Carter should have created immediately a different timeline. And if you don't believe me, watch Civil War and Winter Soldier. Like, it's not the same timeline. It cannot be. It cannot exist. There would have to be two Peggy Carters, one that died and one didn't. It had to be a different timeline. Soul May Cry. Unpopular opinion, I think Shazam was more enjoyable than Endgame, and I still believe Into the Spider-Verse is the best Marvel movie to date. What do you think?
That's a big negatory.
I like Spider-Verse a lot. It's probably the best
Spider-Verse.
Spider-Man movie ever made.
Oh, absolutely. I'll definitely 100% agree with that. I'm a Spider-Man fanboy, and I'll still say no. Oh, and thank you, Hayden, for having the right opinion about Nebula. But anyway,
And also about
I was gonna say like the Shazam thing. It was an enjoyable movie, but that third act did not hit like that.
It was. I think it was also enjoyable because we had such low expectations for the DCEU, and they gave us a good little film there, a really good film. And I do think the fight at the end of Endgame was much more impressive than the one at the end of Aquaman. The Aquaman one I thought was just too many colors. This one I thought was and this was also very colorful, but this one I thought was a little bit better structure, but still kind of crazy. But it's supposed to be crazy, so I'm okay with that. Big Daddy McCuddles mentions the cheeseburgers callback. Yeah, we talked about that earlier as well. Thank you, Tommy. Ivan Garcia, second time I saw the film, Widow's last line to the Avengers was "See you in a minute." Yeah, she's the only one that doesn't return from the time heist. That's true. Yeah, she did tell him, "I'll see you in a minute," and she never came back. That's what he's talking about. Okay. Jeez. Bradley Brody says, how would you feel if this new Captain America timeline has Peggy and S.H.I.E.L.D. working on the project to create Logan in the past? Now, I like this idea. It may be a bit... It's a little bit derivative of the comics, a little bit different, but I kind of like that idea. How do you feel about that? S.H.I.E.L.D. creates Weapon X?
That would be the only way I could see that working out, because they don't have what was the name of that organization? I can't remember.
S.H.I.E.L.D.?
No. I'm talking about the one in the comics that makes him.
It was Alpha Flight, if I remember originally. It was Alpha Flight. But I forget the actual organization. Oh my god, it's Sinister's organization. Nathaniel. I feel like I'm such a nerd now that I forgot. Essex? It's Essex, right? Hello? BG?
I hear you.
Are you eating right now, bro?
No.
I like how BG talks about fat people not being fuckable, but he's fucked more fat people than anybody I know, so... Come on, man. Come on, BG, bro. Come on, BG, bro. Anyways, that could work, but I feel like... how are they going to... Okay, so if Cap is back in time with Peggy, does that mean that Cap told S.H.I.E.L.D. that Hydra had infiltrated them? Wouldn't that make sense that he write a letter to, like, Nick Fury or somebody and say, hey, you do know that Hydra's actually inside of us, right? Pause. Like, you would think he would do that, right?
That would make sense.
Hey, Love is back.
Yeah.
Hey,
I mean,
he's been here for a couple minutes.
I don't know. Like, the more that we talked about it, the more I was just really thinking, like, the whole time thing with the whole, him going back with Peggy. There's just so many, like, honestly, one of my friends ranted about it. I didn't think about it after I saw it in the theater, but I don't know. I mean, you'd think he would do that since he's like him, and like he has. I sound stupid.
You're sounding like you're underwater right now, bro. Your mic has not improved. Just letting you know.
What the? Hold on.
I mean,
It's not as bad as it was earlier, but yeah.
You can make out the sentence. It's just it sounds like you're drowning a little bit.
I took the Thanos buff in EG. He was out to kill. Yeah, he was. Dr. Doom is the epitome of badassery. I agree with that. Mecha Saiyan says, who should be the next major villain? What if they reboot? Hold on, one at a time. So who should be the next major villain? Because I'm thinking the Magus. That if you're gonna ask me who should be the next major villain, Kang the Conqueror should be there, but I think the Magus, Adam Warlock going evil, is my choice. Anybody else have any ideas?
I think he means like who's the next Thanos, and I'd say it's either gonna be Doom or Galactus, but I think Doom.
What about the Beyonder?
The Beyonder, well, they did say they want to do Secret Wars, and that's apparently from what I've heard, that's when the Russo said they'll return is for Secret Wars.
And I trust them to do a good job.
So they're gonna do the Beyonder eventually. Yeah,
I feel like the Beyonder could work for that story. And then he goes on to ask, what if they reboot the X-Men into the MCU and then take on Apocalypse? Well, that could also be a major villain too. They could deal with later on. And then if you really want to get deep, way later on, they could do Onslaught. But they're gonna have to bring everybody back for that. Or maybe the Celestials versus Galactus. Yeah, all that stuff is definitely possible. Galactus makes sense, I think, but the issue is with Galactus, you're gonna have to introduce Surfer, the Fantastic Four. I hope they bring in the Ultimate Nullifier. I really want to see that weapon in the MCU.
What are you talking about, Tommy Gunn?
What?
It's like Tommy Gunn is talking about this is
the SJW stuff. Chill out with bro. Okay, let's talk about that for just a second. Did you think that the A Squad team was SJW propaganda? Because I did not think it was.
No.
Oh, the A-Force thing. I've heard some of the I've heard some takes on this, and the best take I've heard is this: they were pandering to literally every type of fan in that movie. So I feel like doing A-Force was perfect. That was perfect because that panders to a certain type as well. It's not really a problem. It's like because it wasn't even so much of like you called it propaganda. I mean, I didn't hear them say, "Let us girls handle this," or like, "Oh, yeah, y'all guys can't. I gotta step back for a bit."
Was it like No Man's Land in Wonder Woman? Like I thought that was kind of clever the way they did it in Wonder Woman. No Man's Land, but a woman walked through. That was kind of clever, I thought.
Yeah, like I'm like it wasn't anything like that. It wasn't any like.
And
what
by
is
the
it,
way, just for the record,
obvious.
I've been calling it A Squad when I meant to say A Force. Just for the record, I don't read A Squad comics because I don't like SJW Marvel. I really don't. And if the movies become SJW propaganda, I'm going to start to dislike them. Just being real. I don't like SJW shit. I like strong women. Don't get me wrong, but I don't like it when it's crammed down my throat. So if I've been calling it A Squad, I meant to say A Force because I don't care. Continue.
Yeah, like what is it? My whole thing is I could care less about the SJW shit as long as it makes sense in the universe or it all works and it doesn't feel like pandering. As long when I'm I mean, not pandering. Let me rephrase that. If it doesn't feel like SJW propaganda, this didn't feel like SJW propaganda. The same
just
with
felt
the
like
Captain Marvel shrink thing. Because I heard people say that was SJW pandering as well. I'm like, no, I wouldn't say that. She didn't beat him either. Had a good showing.
She had a
And
good
then
showing.
And then she got one. Then she got one punch. So I really don't think it's that big a deal.
But he used one of the stones to punch her. So
Yeah. But
yeah.
it just means that she can't go up. She can't go up against a stone. At least one stone.
No, Mr. J, I just want to say I know it's not SJW. I'm saying I haven't read it because of my fear of it being SJW. See what I'm saying? And I don't want that to bleed into the MCU. There's nothing wrong with female Avengers. I'm just saying that I never read A-Force. I have never read that comic. I don't know anything about it. So,
I was gonna say actually they've actually, what is it? At least with the comics, they already moved away from their SJW phase, and with the movies, they're adapting some of their SJW things, but I can already tell that they're not gonna treat it like SJW shit like they did in the comics. Because like, Captain Falcon, for example, that was part of SJW Marvel, except in the comics, instead of Cap pretty much getting a happy ending and then he turned old, and then decided to give his thing to what was it, Falcon? Instead, they pretty much ripped away his super soldier serum and forced him to turn old. Pretty much fucked him over.
now,
Just to give it to Falcon. They didn't do any shit like that here.
Tommy Gunn does make a very good point, though. The one thing about the A-Force scene is that they all popped up together in that one scene when they were all over the battlefield. That part was kind of like, okay, how did y'all end up together in the same scene? Now, that being said, it was only for a second, so it didn't really bother me. I liked seeing Rescue. The scene where she works with Tony was so damn awesome. My God, it was great.
And it does a little bit at first, but if the dialogue was like, oh, something about women and stuff like that, then you could argue a little bit more about it. But I know they just kind of just came there. It was kind of weird. It was just another cut to me.
Yeah, I mean, I see people's concern. I totally get why you're concerned. It's Disney, it's SJ. I get it. But we're still gonna have a lot of strong male characters still. Like I wouldn't. And plus, those things never really bother me, bro. If they want to do an all-women's team, as long as it's written smart and doesn't insult men. Captain Marvel was not that bad. I think the issue with Captain Marvel was that Brie Larson said a lot of really dumb things in interviews. But I don't think the film itself was SJW propaganda, even though that I'm Just a Girl scene was really cheesy. Very cheesy, if you ask me.
Also, L.J. Williams, you're hilarious.
Who?
L.J. Williams.
Yeah, he is. I know that guy. Ragnarok showed us Thor didn't need a weapon to be strong. He was ready to lead the Asgardians. I agree with that, and he had one eye. I don't like how they changed that. I mean, again, it's still an ongoing arc. I see where you're coming from, but I don't think his story's over yet. I think he will be a badass in the future. Big Dog wants to know who was the MVP of Endgame in our opinion. For me, per acting wise, I think Ant-Man, Scott Lang, Paul Rudd. Paul Rudd was so good in this movie. He didn't have that much screen time, but he was funny at the right times. He was emotional at the right times. He was concerned at the right times. My favorite Paul Rudd performance in the MCU.
What is it? I'd say probably go to Cap for me. You either go to Cap or Nebula.
Nebula, yeah, Karen Gillan was great. Gohan?
Well, at first I was gonna think Cap, but since Nebula didn't really get much light, especially in this movie, I'm gonna give it to Nebula, especially, with her trying to fight herself, and she killed herself, and, it's just all the stuff that she had to do. It was a lot, and I really like that.
No, I like the fact that character, that there's two different Nebulas. Like, I really like that, because she could play evil again, and it's probably fun for her to play both the good and the evil side of that character. Anybody else want to throw in their MVP?
Well, favorite. Well,
Because
I
Robert
don't know.
Downey was great too. Everybody was great. Everybody was great. Jeremy Renner was great. He didn't even known to be a great actor. Sorry, go ahead, go on.
No, I just liked how I liked Hawkeye in this movie with his development in the short amount of time in the 3 hours, going from the beginning, his family just wiped away from him in a matter of seconds, and then he was the one who put himself to test out the time machine, and then he saw his daughter for the first time after they just wiped away, and he was just so sad, but then he knew that it was ready to go, and then in the end, when he was gonna sacrifice himself for the Soul Stone, and then Black Widow to do it instead. All of that for me was really powerful.
So, did you feel like Captain Marvel was shoehorned in here? Because to me, I don't think she was useless, and I know why they did what they did, but I could have sworn I remember reading that there was a video game where Rocket is the one who saves Tony, and that may have been the plan in the original script, and maybe Disney told him, hey, change it and put her in to give her more shine. Because they're always talking about how, like, I remember watching the film, they're always saying, oh, I like her, trying to get her over. It seemed a little bit desperate, I'm not going to lie. It seemed like the Russos had to tell their story, they still told it, but I also feel like she maybe was a little bit shoehorned in because she sat out most of the movie, thank God. What do you think about that?
I don't think it was shoehorned at all because for one, like it actually like it follows up from the post-credit scene of Captain Marvel pretty well because yeah, she shows up, she asks where what happens
Where's
to
Fury?
what is it? Yeah, and then after that, you can just put it together in your own head that yeah, she because you notice that by Pepper was waiting there too at the compound.
Yeah, but did
which
you
is-
really, BG, did you really need her in this film? She saved Tony. Rock could have done it. The scene where the ship blew up, they could have had, Giant Man tear it apart. I don't know if she was really needed in this battle.
What is it? Was she needed in the battle?
In the movie.
Um,
I don't know if she was really that. Like, in other words, you could have rewritten the movie without her even being in it and it wouldn't have mattered.
While that might be true, I mean, what is it? While that might be true, with how they did this movie, like putting it's like everybody is here. You had to have her do something.
That's true.
You had to have her do. So that's why I didn't feel shoehorned to me because it's like that would actually be more of a shaft if anything else.
Well, I'm glad she wasn't in there for too much, because the issue, I have no issue with Brie Larson as an actress. I think she's had great performances. She's just not very good as Captain Marvel, in my opinion, but I think she can improve. Yeah, her comments are.
I think she was fine here because what is she only had like a few lines and she delivered them pretty well. Especially and I feel like they did her charisma better in this movie than her own.
Well, what's funny is that a lot of those scenes were shot before she even did her own movie. So,
Very true.
Yeah, I just think
That's just a big testament to direction, everyone.
and writing for sure. Sean Paul says, I mean, it's like 5 years since they lost those stones. Why hasn't there been a catastrophic effects of that time span? Lady said they need to be returned immediately. I mean, she's right too. Well, no. Sean Paul, she's talking about more so maintaining the balance of the timeline. But one thing you are right about is it would have been strange that after the 5-year skip, like you're right, nothing catastrophic happened, but there's no villains that popped up. Where's the Sinister Six at? Where's, did Mysterio from Far From Home also snap? Did Jake Gyllenhaal get snapped? Like, it just seems a little bit weird, the 5-year skip that nothing happened. I feel like they need to make a movie where something did happen. They explain it to us. So, okay, anyways. Hayden, once again, wants to know, which Marvel event comic would you want to see adapted in the coming years? Illuminati, Secret Invasion, Dark Avengers, Siege, Fear Itself, Avengers vs. X-Men, Axis, Original Sin, Secret Wars. Secret Wars is one that I go for. Avengers vs. X-Men could also happen. I've never read Original Sin, Axis, or Fear Itself, so I don't know if that would be any good. Secret Invasion could also work. Again, Magus and the Infinity Watch. Maybe, you'd have to bring the stones back. I want to see that. What do you think?
I'd go for either Fear Itself, Dark Avengers, or AVX. Because I say it like that because I already know they're gonna do Secret Wars. I already said that. So I don't even. And they're gonna. No, they didn't actually say AVX. AVX is just a pipe dream for me. But I hope
AVX what the fans want. Yeah. Now, do you think the Dark Avengers storyline could work? Because it seems.
They've already talked about. They've already talked about doing it before. They haven't confirmed it, but they've hinted at it before.
We know that Kevin Feige has the next 5 years planned out. So let's see what they do. I think. You know, I think that there's a lot of things they can pull from, but they're gonna have to make some changes because they can't overload it with too many characters either. That's the scary part about this whole thing.
Well, I mean, the one. Oh, go ahead.
No, you go ahead. No, go for it.
I was gonna say the one film that they're gonna have that they can actually. I think the only time they can ever do something like this again would be AVX or Secret War.
Well, Onslaught, but Onslaught would have to be a two film story. I feel.
I
You know.
agree, Hayden.
Yeah. Okay. Soul May Cry says, "Do you think MCU Dormammu is above MCU Thanos? And do you think the MCU introducing the One Above All would fly in today's society?" I don't think we're going to get the One Above All. I think we're going to get the Living Tribunal at some point. I don't think they're going to go beyond that, even though there are other characters they could introduce. But I think people like Protege, I don't think we're going to see that in the MCU. Dormammu above MCU Thanos. Without the gauntlet, yes, I do think so. Do you agree?
Oh, easily.
Yeah, without the gauntlet.
That's not even a question.
Yeah, he's pretty much like a demon. So, Mr. Geek says, imagine Lewis talking shit out of Thanos. Oh, from Ant-Man. Yeah, he wasn't in this movie. Shakravartan, am I the only one who thinks Thanos dying at the start was kind of sad? I don't think the Avengers were planning to even kill him until Thor lost his shit. Yeah, I don't think so either. They're probably trying to investigate what they can do to get the stones back. It was kind of sad because the dude had retired and he was kind of like, he had this kind of look of fear on his face, like, dude, leave me alone. And then he got his head cut off. I did kind of sense like, damn, that sucks for him. But at the same time, I knew like, okay, when they killed him, I knew that one of two things was going to happen. There would be time travel hijinks or the reality stone. I really believed that he was using the reality stone when I saw the movie for the first time to screw around with them, and that he was going to come back later on in the movie and be like, haha, you thought you killed me, but you didn't. Did you think that?
No, I didn't. I never actually got that vibe.
I did. I thought. Yeah, I thought I didn't think they were going to kill him in the first 10 minutes, but that was part of that whole subverting expectations thing, you know, which I think was really well done in this film compared to Last Jedi, which is trash, in that they killed him off in the first 10 minutes, but they also had a much more vicious version of him see what was going on and get more and more mad, say, you know, screw this, they made my life easier, screw it, you know what I mean? Ron Banner says, I believe Captain Marvel should have been after Endgame. Yeah, I can see that. Maybe. I mean, I always thought that Ant-Man should have been before Ultron, so they could have Ant-Man be the creator of Ultron, have Hank Pym create Ultron the way it should have been. I always wanted it to be Hank Pym and Howard Stark, but I guess they changed it.
You can blame what's his name again? Edgar Wright for that.
Well, Edgar Wright was the one who came up with the idea to even have all this in the first place with him and Kevin Feige. Did you catch? Oh, go ahead.
It was his idea to make him old, what I was saying.
Yeah, I mean, I get it, but they could have easily said, oh, well, Howard Stark and Hank Pym have been working on this for years in secret or something. They could have easily done that. Y2 Jericho says, you catch the Submariner Easter egg. Let's talk about that for a minute. I'm glad you brought that up because I forgot about it. So there's a scene in the movie where Okoye says something like, oh, there are earthquakes going on underwater, and we're supposed to not address them. And there's already rumors of that being Namor the Submariner, but there's nothing else. There's no context to that line anywhere in the film, so people are thinking it has to do with them slowly bringing him in. What do you think?
No, that's actually a very good way of looking at it, because I think it was was it Ant-Man? I know there was one film before Spider-Man came out where they actually hinted at his existence.
You know, it was Ant-Man. It was Ant-Man.
Yeah, so it's like they do that from time to time. Where like I think they even did that with Doctor Strange and Winter Soldier when they were showing all the names of people they needed to kill. They listed Stephen Strange as one of the names,
which never made any sense to me because he didn't have any powers at the time. Why would you want to kill him?
Well, he was. I guess the way I looked at it is that he was a world-class surgeon. And he was like the best surgeon on the planet. So I guess he could fix. I guess it was just like I guess he was threatened that way. Because pretty much, I'd say like tried to assassinate somebody, he could fix them.
Possibly. Well, I guess
that's how I always looked at it.
Bradley Brody says, "How do you feel about the Shang-Chi movie?" I'm not too excited for it, to be honest. It could be fun and wacky if it's fun and wacky. I'm not too excited for it. I feel like, I hate to say it, but I was never a fan of Shang-Chi. I really wasn't. I prefer somebody like the New Warriors. Obviously, Fantastic Four would be great. There's other things they could do, Marvel Cosmic level stuff. I want to see a damn collector a movie with the Collector and the Grandmaster because Jeff Goldblum is hilarious and awesome, and so is Benicio del Toro. So I think they would be great together. What do you think about Shang-Chi?
I don't know much about Shang-Chi myself. I've just heard that in what was it, Hickman's Avengers run. Apparently, he was very good in that. So I mean, like some people who are fans of that have claimed that this might be a good showing for him.
I feel like Shang-Chi fits more in the TV verse, like with Daredevil and Punisher. You know?
I heard there was an Avengers spoiler stream going on.
Oh, this guy. Yeah. Well, you hate everything, including
What?
Shang-Chi.
I don't hate Shang-Chi.
Didn't you say you don't care about Shang-Chi or something like that?
I said yes. I believe that was exactly what I said, and I tweeted, "I will eat my words if Shang-Chi becomes a good movie." And when I said that, I meant I will print out the tweet onto a cake and I will eat that cake.
That's cheap though, but
States
that's cheap though because you're gonna eat cake. No. I want you to print out the tweet and eat the paper. That's what I want, not a
Hell
cake.
no.
Oh yeah, that's
Hell
it.
no.
Eat the paper,
No.
bro.
I made this bet with myself,
What a
and either
pussy.
way I win. Because one way I get a good movie, one way I get. Yeah, but see, the thing is, I have to eat the cake myself, so it's like I have to eat a whole ass cake on my own.
People are
You're gonna
asking
record
about.
you eating the entire cake.
I'll record myself eating the fucking cake.
He'll
If
get a-
I like
But he'll be a
Shang-Chi,
pussy and
I
get a
will do
small
it.
cake, bro. But what if it is a good movie though? I mean, these
Then
guys
I
have a
don't know.
track record of making good films.
Yeah, but it's like there's some characters that it's like if they really mess it up, because it's okay. Let me put it like this: they suddenly decided to fast track it, and I was like, okay, it's a kung fu movie, so they should get like a good action director. Then they just got like a director. I was like, oh, okay.
Well, who's
Like, I wasn't, like-
who's directing it? Because I didn't even see
I don't
that.
even know. It's just some guy who's made
Oh.
like tiny movies that hasn't really done much, and like they've taken their
That-
bets sometimes, but this is one of those times where I'm like,
I mean, they have. I mean, keep in mind the Russos were like that too.
that's true.
Yeah, no, they were doing what, Community or whatever, right?
Yeah, they did Community and they did other comedy shit. They were like
Yeah, but-
comedy TV shows.
The
Right.
Community's a very character-based show, so that's understandable.
Yeah.
Remember to subscribe and hit the
But
like
my point
button,
being-
by the way.
But my point being was
Hit the
that
like
point
button.
being is that they were over here doing comedy shows, like
That's
comedy
true.
TV shows, rather
Oh.
than full on comedy.
I want Shang-Chi to be good, but I'll be surprised if it's good because I've always found Shang-Chi's brother to be more interesting than Shang-Chi himself. So, then again, I
Hmm.
haven't read Hickman's Avengers run, so
Yeah,
Well-
that was I mentioned that earlier. Apparently he was really good in that. That's what I've heard. At least.
so I've heard as well.
How do you feel? Okay, Pouty says, with the 5-year time skip, wouldn't some of the Peter's classmates that didn't get snapped still have continued their education to have graduated by now? Yeah, and it seems kind of cheesy that all of his classmates got snapped. The little Samoan kid or whatever.
No, at least Ned did. We don't know if any others.
I know Ned and MJ did not get snapped.
MJ,
No,
yeah.
Ned, everyone in this class that we met in the last movie, Ned, MJ, Flash, all of them.
Yeah, it seems kind of
I mean, it's not
contrived.
that- I mean, at least for the main ones being snapped, it's not really that hard to believe since Peter himself got snapped.
Do we know if Aunt May got snapped?
That we don't know actually.
Yeah.
But I mean, since it was like half of the planet, I mean, like
I don't
having
care,
like
she
six-
still looks good.
Yeah,
Something
she
like
still
60
looks young, so.
actually no, it was half of the universe, right?
It was half of the
Yeah.
entire universe, all living beings,
Half-
including animals, too.
That's what I'm saying. If
Animals,
it's half of
plants.
the universe, half of the universe realistically could have been the entire planet, actually.
Does that mean that, like, you're pissed because half the girls you wanted to screw are gone now?
I mean,
That's
you
BG's
said that.
Hulk out moment, bro.
BG was very angry at Thanos over that.
That's when he would have become the Incredible Hulk, bro.
He beat his meat twice as much for
Oh.
5 years.
Cast BG as Deathlock in the Deathlock movie, bro.
Big Dog says, if there was never going to be another MCU movie, how would you guys feel about Endgame being the absolute conclusion? Well, like I said in my non-spoiler review, I said that in the first 5 minutes of that review, bro. And by the way, those of you who are here, I've already done spoiler and non-spoiler reviews by myself. This is a stream with other people, but I've done spoiler and non-spoiler stuff by myself on World of Geekdom. If you're coming here for Geekdom 101, subscribe to World of Geekdom, where we have non-anime content like comic book movies and other movies and
A little less degeneracy.
No, actually a little more in some ways. Way more, because I'm unfiltered on this channel more so
Oh
than
yeah,
before.
you're right.
Yeah, Geekdom 101 is like the corporate Geekdom channel. This is more like I can do whatever the fuck I want. Like say fuck, for example, on here. Even though I say fuck on the other channel once in a while. The other one is all business. This one's more fun, you know. But that one's fun too. I love talking Dragon Ball. But still, this is fun. I
This
said
is the
it.
back half of the mullet.
Yeah, fuck you. So I said it in my review. Yes, if this was the final MCU film, it was absolutely satisfying. And to be honest with you, part of me is kind of afraid of where they're going to go for Phase 4 and Phase 5 because they really are using up a lot of the classic villains already. Like they have a few left, but I hope they don't just kill off all the villains in the next 5-10 years. Then we're screwed.
I mean, they can actually probably bullshit their way to bringing Thanos back.
They have to. There's too many.
Oh
Brolin's
my
too
God.
good, and Brolin is too good, and there's too many good storylines out there for Thanos.
If they introduced Lady Death just to bring him back, or if they made Hela bring him back, I'd be like, oh, like, 'cause
Lady
that's what
Death.
happened-
Lady Death should bring him back, then he falls for her, and then he wants to get the stones again.
Well, that's what happened in Infinity Gauntlet, like the original storyline. Lady Death brought him back and was like, "Yeah, I need like half the universe just kind of like wiped out. Go for it." And he was like, "I will do it." Because
Would
I
it have
wanna
to be
own
different
it."
this time? It would have to be a little bit different. This
It
time.
would, but like I'm just saying, like if they used that as an excuse to bring him back, like Lady Death or like Hela herself was like, "You need to do something for me. Go do it." Like it's like you're the only one that can do it, so do it.
People
Well,
are
that is,
talking
of course,
about.
that is, of course, until he gets too strong. She doesn't want to fuck with him anymore.
People in the
Yeah.
chat are talking about who to cast as Doctor Doom. I'll be honest. I feel like Jake Gyllenhaal would have been good Doctor Doom, but he's already Mysterio. Yes, I know there's tons of villains left, and yes, I know Spider-Man has tons of villains left. I know that. Educate yourself. No, I'm very aware, dog. I'm talking about if they keep killing them off in the next 4 or 5 phases, then what?
Well, yeah,
I
mean,
know.
Spider-Man's
I
gonna
know
keep-
how many villains are left, dog.
Spider-Man's
in the
gonna
next
keep
4 or
most of
5
his.
phases, I'll be in my 40s.
Yeah, that's dude. We're gonna be like grown. Like some of us are already grown ass men, but like we're gonna be grown ass men. BG.
At that point, I'll be showing my kids these movies.
Yeah, I also. It's
I'm
also a
surprised you don't
question
already
of,
have
like-
kids.
Oh.
Who says I don't?
Oh,
Oh.
why
It's
does that
a
not surprise
question,
me?
though, like, it's a question of though, like,
Probably get me.
and I don't want to think this, but like, will we care? Is the question. Like,
Oh, I've been questioning that after because with this movie it was good as fuck, but the thing about that is that well, for one, there's 2 problems. One, how they top it. 2, where do they go from here? Because they pretty much done everything that they were building up to for the past decade. So
Yeah,
what the
and
fuck
it's
do you
like-
do now?
Gore
gonna
the
have-
God Butcher.
I feel like we're definitely gonna have like a sequel prequel divide among fans as well, like the Star Wars movies have.
Well,
Oh,
that's
this is
true.
the
I mean, there
prequel.
are. Yeah, there are prequels they could bring out too.
Well,
No, what he's saying-
that's not what
what
I
he's
mean.
saying
It's such
is
an
he's saying,
age
like-
gap. It's
he's
such
saying,
an
like-
age gap.
Oh, I see. So you're
He's
saying like
this right here,
Mhm.
this right here would be the prequel, would be the original trilogy, and then the next set of movies would be like the prequel.
yeah, 'cause
There are
people are
gonna
gonna
be
grow
people-
up on the newer ones, right?
So they might like the newer stories more than the originals because the newer stories, I'm assuming, will just the formula's perfected now, so they're gonna feel different than the originals. So we might find people who like the newer ones more than the older ones, which is completely reasonable because some of those older ones stumbled pretty goddamn hard.
Yeah, but also you said something there. The formula. How long? And let's be real here. Endgame's gonna be the biggest movie ever, but how long can they keep this formula up and be successful? Because the movies do start to feel a bit formulaic after a while, where it's like the same
Some
thing
of them
over and
broke
over
it though
again.
and did well. Like, and that's
Yeah, like Winter Soldier to me kind of was like the first one to ever get straight away from there.
Ragnarok broke it, I'd say.
Ragnarok broke it too.
Ragnarok definitely broke it. So did Guardians of the Galaxy 1. I know that, but again, there's a lot. It's 3 movies a year. It's a lot. Let's be real about it. You know,
No,
it's gonna be
every
tricky.
one in
And
5
not
isn't,
just
like-
not just 3 movies a year. We're gonna have Disney Plus shows going as well for Phase 4. So
Okay,
like
give me
like
those-
Wanda. Yeah, let's talk about WandaVision, bro. Vision has been a jabroni since Infinity War. He did nothing in this movie because he was dead.
He didn't even come back.
I thought they were gonna bring him back with like with AI or something, but no Vision. Is Tony gonna be the new Vision? I don't think so.
Maybe they're gonna bring back. Maybe a new Ultron story is gonna come up.
I hope
because,
so.
like,
I want James Spader to get
that's
paid.
what's gonna happen. Dude,
thing
James
about-
Spader is so good as Ultron.
what I'm thinking, well, his voice is, yeah. Anyway, what I'm thinking about is that, well, it's not even really that. Like the WandaVision one's nice, but there's two of them that catch my interest, which is the Hawkeye one and the Captain Falcon and Winter Soldier thing.
The three of them on a show together?
No. Hawkeye gets his own show,
Oh,
Yes.
Mm,
And then
interesting.
yeah,
and Captain Falcon and Winter Soldier get a show together.
Can
yeah.
I just say, I think I would have liked a Hawkeye movie more than a Black Widow movie.
Well, we haven't seen the Black Widow movie yet, but
Just,
I was like, I
well, I
would
mean,
have.
all right, boo. Jeremy Renner's gonna be in that movie. He'll be in the
well,
damn
yeah, it's more
Black
because
Widow
I don't
movie.
give a shit about a dead character.
Yeah, you mentioned that before.
I'm like half and half on that, really, because I can see where he's coming from with that. But at the same time, though, I do care about her character, so I want.
Well,
and
you
I
get what I
have
mean,
questions.
though. It's like
You're saying, like inconsequential. I see what you're trying to say.
unless it's okay, unless they use it to set up the next major villain, or they use it to set up Taskmaster for later movies. But the likelihood of them killing Taskmaster in that movie is so high that it upsets me.
I like how Nicholas said they could bring back Ultron. Brother, they probably got him on a floppy drive somewhere. They're gonna upload it on accident, and then here you go, he's back already. I mean, don't doubt it.
The internet. He was in the internet. Like he expanded himself out there. Do you know how many times they like killed him in the comics?
He's in your hard drive with all the gay porn. That's where he's at right now, and he's enjoying himself.
Oh my god.
Bradley Brody says, what do you think about Black Panther and Spider-Man against Kraven? That'd be a fun fight, but I feel like if they do Kraven's Last Hunt, I want Kraven's Last Hunt to be adapted, whether it be animated or live action. That's the greatest Spider-Man story ever told. However, it's not for kids. This is an adult
It isn't.
R-rated story. Maybe you want to wait till Tom Holland gets a little bit older because he's too iconic with the children. When he becomes a more seasoned actor, a veteran, maybe you could do that story. We'll probably never see it in the big screen, though.
I'd love to see Craven, but you can say fuck Sony for that because they're never gonna give that nigga up.
Well, they gave up some characters for, and that's another thing too. We should. Well, we should talk about that for just a second here. Far From Home is the final film part of the 5-movie contract for the MCU and Sony. Are they going to renew the contract, or are we done here?
Yeah, they are. They already said that. They said that.
No way they can't.
Yeah, they said that. What is it? They're very happy with their relationship they built with Marvel, and they're going to continue that on for the foreseeable future.
That's good.
That's because Marvel makes them a lot of money. I don't know if people know, but Sony gets about 90% of that money.
Oh, they get so much.
No. When it comes to the movies that Tom Holland shows up in, Disney gets those.
Yes.
For the Marvel the Spider-Man solo films, that's 100% Sony. So that made $1 billion. Sony just made $1 billion.
Yes, that's what I was saying. They get a lot of fucking money. Hayden Walsh, he says they've stated that Phase 4 will be highly cosmic. Yay or nay on that choice of direction? Yeah, I wanted to real quick cover that. So, yes, Phase 4, according to Kevin Feige, is going to explore the cosmic Marvel stuff, which means we're probably going to get more like Dormammu type people. The Eternals is coming.
What are you?
We might get Infinity. We might get Eternity. We might get the In-Betweener. We might get stuff like that. Lots of other planets. I am okay with it because you can't have every major Marvel story take place on Earth. You can have other planets and other heroes. I'm fine with it if it leads to Secret Wars being a big combination of all the heroes from and all the villains from other planets. What do you think?
They're saying it's going to be cosmic Marvel, but it doesn't really seem like it from one of the movies they've announced so far.
You're right. You're right. Well, it doesn't, does it?
Well, okay, so like at least with so what movies do we know are happening? We know we're getting Shang-Chi. We know we're getting Black Widow. What are the other ones? I know we know there's other ones, and I just
all right. Here's the
another Doctor Strange.
All right.
We're getting another Black Panther.
Yeah,
Eternals.
We're getting. All right. Here's the way it's supposed to go: Far From Home, then Black Widow, and again we don't know the actual order yet. Eternals, right? Then Guardians 3, Black Panther 2, Doctor Strange 2. What's the other? Probably Captain Marvel 2. And then from there, it's kind of up in the air.
Well, they did express interest in doing a Nova Corps film.
Yeah,
Nova.
I'm shocked that they have not done anything about the Nova Corps. I thought the Nova Corps was going to make a cameo in this film. Nothing.
Well, remember they said Xandar.
Remember those baby back bitches never show up unless they're the real Nova Corps.
Okay, my thing is this. So a lot of those movies are kind of obvious in what they could do. The one movie I can speak on and what they could do with Cosmic with the next phase is Shang-Chi, which is ironic because I don't know if Shang-Chi is going to be good, and I find Shang-Chi boring. But like I said, his brother interests me more, and his brother becomes Cosmic eventually. The Kree kidnap him, turn his body into their like puppet, and he bodies Silver Surfer. So like that connection's there for Shang-Chi if they go through with it.
Yeah,
But
and
I was
Silver
thinking,
Surfer should be an early entry, I think.
what if they do Annihilus at some point, bro? What if they do
Yes,
the Annihilus?
Annihilus would be a great next villain. I agree with you completely.
Open up the negative zone and do stuff with that as well.
Yes,
Just
I want to
go.
see that. Doctor Strange could open it up on
feel like they're
accident.
gonna be. I feel like they're gonna be kind of scared with the negative zone after what happened with the Fan 4 stick.
Yeah, but no, not enough people saw that movie to go, man, the negative zone, really?
Plus, if it's written correctly, they'll be fine. They'll be all right.
Yeah.
They'll be all right. Remember, Amazing Spider-Man 1 and 2 came out before Homecoming, and they were fine. So, it doesn't matter.
My biggest thing is this. It's like if they do Annihilus and the Annihilation Army and all that, it's just another dude with a big-ass army for them to fight. Like...
Yeah, like Ultron. It's always the same thing. A big-ass army, because everybody has to get their shine. So, thank you, Joseph and Francisco, and thanks everybody for leaving those super chats. So, where do we go from here? I want to wrap up the stream here with some questions about just where we go from here. Will there be another Iron Man with his daughter? I don't know if I want to see that, dude. I think the character should go until they decide to bring Tony back.
Make it Rhodey. Have Rhodey.
They're probably going to do Iron Lad because that's almost obvious to me because of Cassie.
Okay. What do you think, Mayo?
Like I said, I want Rhodey to step up. I think Don Cheadle could do an Iron Man movie really well, or just make it a War Machine movie. Like, he got a new Iron Patriot armor as well. They wouldn't give him that armor for no goddamn reason.
Well, I mean, I think that he'll be around making cameos in other movies like the Hulk. I don't think there's going to be a Hulk movie either. I think, Universal has the rights, so they're going to have to, like, squeeze it out of them. They don't want to deal with that. It sucks that the rights are everywhere.
No, I think Universal only owns the rights to She-Hulk.
I believe they have both.
They own the Hulk.
They do own the Hulk still? They own the Hulk still?
Yeah.
Okay.
That was a
I don't know how
contract
they don't use it.
because it was a contract that they signed in like the 70s and 60s that never.
They own like She-Hulk and
old contracts like that never end. So
Yep. You know that means we're probably never gonna get Namor in the MCU, right?
well, they teased it in this film.
They did. Did I miss that?
Yeah, we talked about it earlier.
I didn't catch it either, but Danny actually opened my eyes to that one.
Yeah,
Just let me know about it later.
Okoye, no, I'll tell you right now. Okoye says, there are earthquakes underwater or something like that, and then a lot of fans are like, "Oh, it's Namor, it's Namor." So
Yeah, but then Okoye was like, "It happens." Like
Francisco, I went to Chicago 2 times this year so far, bro, and you missed me both times. I'll be back in Chicago November for Survivor Series, so we'll meet up there. Or maybe if you want to go to that show, I don't know. I'll be going to that show. But anyways, yeah. So Okoye said that. So maybe they can get Namor, but is Namor? Have they done anything with Namor Universal?
I mean,
No.
honestly, that would be they've never used him. I'm saying like that would be fucking awesome because what that would mean is that they could actually probably use him in Black Panther 2.
Because
wasn't it the director of Black Panther 2 who tweeted a picture of Namor and Black
Ryan
Panther and
Coogler.
then just kind of deleted it?
Ryan
Didn't he-
Coogler?
Was that him who did that?
I don't know.
Probably.
I know that one of the things they've been talking about, and I hate to bring this up, is a possible lesbian love story between Captain Marvel and Valkyrie. That's one thing that the actors have been tweeting about, and I don't know, like, if they want to do it, they can do it.
I'm already kind of, at least with Valkyrie, that's already been kind of hinted at by
They've
the.
literally never met.
Taiki has already talked about that before.
Well, they worked together
But,
on against
but-
Thanos.
Yeah, I was saying like Taiki's already talked about that, but no, for Captain Marvel, that wouldn't make any sense because because honestly, they were kind of already hinting that little thing between her and Rhodey, which is a thing.
I didn't.
Did I miss
it?
that?
Wait, what thing with her and Rhodey?
In the comics, they're a thing.
Oh, I thought you meant in the movie. Okay.
No, like they're the only ones that really interacted. So I'm like, they kind of could do something with them, and I feel like they're planning to do that because she's the only person
Captain
she
Marvel
really
never
talked
even
to.
met Valkyrie. What?
Well, they work
I
together,
know,
like I
that's
said.
not- that doesn't sound likely to me.
Hey,
That sounds like
Mayo,
they're-
what do you think
yeah,
about Chris Evans as Captain Atom and Robert Downey Jr. as Hush in the DCEU?
I don't need a Captain Atom movie.
I
That's
just,
for goddamn sure.
if these guys are gonna be jumping back and forth between like universes, it's gonna be weird. Even though
I hope they don't.
yeah, Michael Keaton, I think can do it. But by the way, I was very excited that Michael Keaton's coming back for Far From Home. I don't know if it's gonna be a cameo, but he's there.
Now, if Chris Evans were to voice Captain Atom in an animated thing, I think that would work.
Somebody
I don't-
brought
I would have no issue with that.
somebody brought up the Juggernaut, bro. I would love to see the Juggernaut in the MCU, but that's an X-Men character.
Juggernaut versus Thanos, who would win? Seriously.
With or without the gem of Katorak or whatever.
The gem of Ghidorah.
You know the gem that he has, bro.
I
The
know, but
gem-
no one ever mentions it, so I'm like,
I'll mention. I'm old school, bro. See, I don't know shit about these new comics, bro. I know they've done Infinity Wars about 10 times since the original one. I know
Bro, they're doing War
Ultron
of the
once.
Realms right now.
Yeah, we talked about that the other night. Yeah, they're doing that. Like they got, girl Avengers, girl Thor, girl Black Girl Iron Man and all. I haven't read any of that stuff. I keep
Williams is garbage.
I keep up with it. I keep
don't
up with it
talk
because of
about
Grob.
We don't talk about Riri.
Yeah, Riri Williams is pretty trash.
I like how Omni Ook says, "Does he read non-super chats?" What do you think I'm doing right now, bro?
Bro, Riri finally got bodied by Thanos
The
like last
gem-
year, and everyone was like, she got what was coming to her.
The gem of clitoris, bro. That's what they should be. That's the one BG wants to get, bro. The gem of clitoris, bro. Now, Groggy,
Damn.
Groggy, make a Photoshop of BG in the Juggernaut suit, bro. Thank you. The gem of I know he'll do it for me. The gem of clitoris, bro.
BJ, bitch.
For those who don't know, I got BG laid about 2 weeks ago. He still hasn't thanked me for it. So if you're out there and one of your friends gets you laid, thank him. All right, don't be a prick like BG who's not even thanking him. Thanking me.
Jesus.
Whatever. BG, you're a prick for that. I'm waiting for him to pop at the gem of clitoris, bro. Anyways, all right, let's get out of here. We're gonna close out the stream. We're just talking shit the whole time. Again, I have non-spoiler and spoiler reviews for the movie, and we're gonna have a lot more to talk about as well. I might do a timeline video on it. Also, Geekdom 101 podcast, geekdom101.libsyn.com. You can download our review, me and Draven's, on Wednesday of this week. I got some Star Wars videos coming up too, very, very soon. So, I want to see Maximum Carnage. Me too, but not part of the Venom sequel. I want to see Maximum Carnage done right.
There's gonna be carnage.
I would love that storyline, dude. Not part
I
of it.
can't wait for
BG,
that movie.
BG, you're a big fan of Venom, aren't you? Huge fan.
Oh yeah, you know it.
BG's a big fan of Venom, bro.
Wow.
He loves Venom, that guy. He wants Venom to make a lot of money. So, anyways, that
first
was
movie was fun.
yeah, it was a fun time. I hope y'all enjoyed it. Thank you, BG and Mayo and Mr. Gohan, for being here today and having some spend some time with me. Pause in the butt. Any final thoughts on Endgame?
Huh?
Do you have any final thoughts on Endgame?
Phenomenal film is my favorite MCU film.
Really?
I think Infinity War was better.
We talked about that. That was the first topic we talked about. Which one was better?
Yeah.
Is
That's all
Gohan
I'm gonna say.
is Gohan still around?
Oh, also the score sucks.
Which one?
But I
You're the
liked
only
it.
person I heard say that.
Not
We'll
in
get into
Endgame.
that later. We'll get into that later.
Which score sucks?
No, he
The score
means
in Endgame.
the music.
Yeah.
I thought it was okay.
I thought the music was weak compared to Infinity War. I think it was I really enjoyed it. Like I definitely think it's one of my higher ups on the list for MCU films, but I liked Infinity War more, and more of Infinity War stands out in my mind. But Endgame was definitely way more hype.
And is Gohan still there? He's probably beating his meat because he's muted. So, all right, we're gonna close the stream. Thanks everybody for listening, and we'll talk to you in the future. And like I said,
God.
tons of videos coming out. I mean, I got Star Wars shit, all kinds of stuff coming out tomorrow. So, I'll talk to y'all soon. Bye.
Bye bye.